Self-esteem is having a good opinion of yourself. It's understanding what your strengths are and valuing yourself as a person. Hello you guys, and welcome back to Self-Love TV. I am Miss P, and I want to welcome you back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a pretty nice and calm, relaxing day. I decided to record a video today. It is Saturday afternoon. You'll probably be viewing this on Sunday or Monday, but I wanted to come in, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about self-esteem. I thought it was important to, as I stated in an earlier video, that we're going to delve in a little deeper. We're going to make us a little uncomfortable, because I think it's important for us to understand why we have such a hard time loving ourselves, especially when we get to a certain age of life. I think women especially struggle with self-love because of all the changes that happens to us as we age. And before I get started into this, let me explain, put my disclaimer out here. I'm not targeting any particular age group, any particular size of woman, race of woman, or anything. This is just a general conversation to generate thought, to help you to evaluate and assess where you are in loving yourself. So we're going to get into self-esteem today. I think having a good opinion of yourself is very important. And sometimes it can be altered based on your surroundings, where you were raised, how you were raised, the type of people that you involved yourself with, or your friends, your family members. All of that can be either self-esteem boosters, or it could kill your self-esteem. And as you age, and this is really talking about a certain demographic of women, when we start getting to that beautiful time of life, that change of life, I call it beautiful. That beautiful time of life, change of life, our body can go through a lot of special changes. Now, not even to mention the changes that childbearing can put us through. So that already has an effect on us. But having a good opinion of yourself is not just based on what your body looks like. It has a lot to do with the way that you feel about you as a person as a whole. Your body is not just, you're not just made up of your physical body. It's your emotional body, your mental body. All of that encompasses and affects your self-esteem. So it is important that we start with how we think. See, a lot of times when we're trying to work on parts of us, we have a tendency to want to only attack the part of us which is physical. But if your mind has not changed, it hasn't had a different thought or a different outlook, how can you start with the physical if you don't even believe it? So it's important that we think about certain things before we get there. Now I want to talk a little bit about the changes of our body. And before I go there, let me go somewhere else. I'm all over the place, but let me go somewhere else with that. Society has a way of making women feel that there is a certain type of way we should look. So that is like some high standards to have. When today in the technology with plastic surgery and all of the things that are out there, that you don't have to really work hard to achieve certain things, that's like hard to compete with, right? You know, when you can go under the knife and get those perky boobs, that flat belly, that lifted butt, you know what I'm saying? You can get the lines taken off of your face, you can lift your face, you can lighten your skin, you can do a whole host of things. It's a hard shoe to fill if you're not in that position where you can afford that. So we're already looking at how that area of society has affected us. So we're trying to live up to those standards when maybe we're not at a position where we can financially do certain things. So that already is something that can attack the way that you have, the opinion that you have of yourself. In a society where people go under the knife and then they portray themselves as if they were naturally that way is another thing. You know, a lot of the celebrities that we look at, that we see every day on movies, on television, you know, that are in our eyes icons, and we worship them and we in awe of how they look, a lot of them have had a lot of major things done in order to look that way. And I believe that if anybody was on the level of affordability, as finances are concerned, could go under the knife and actually make yourself look amazing, if that's what you perceive as being amazing. But I think it's important that we work on the inside outward instead of outward inside, because when you do that, the way that you value yourself is still low. So have you ever seen a person who was beautiful to the eye, but seemed to carry themselves in a way that they didn't have much value for themselves? And they were always seeking approval from other people. When you are fully confident in loving yourself, you don't seek approval from other people. You're just concerned with the way that you feel about yourself. That's first and foremost. How do we know when we're seeking approval? When we're always trying to get people to validate how we look. We're trying to get people to validate what we're wearing. When you are comfortable with the skin that you're in, you don't need the validations of other people. Have you ever seen people who just wear what they want to wear, and it may not be something that you would ever think of putting on? A style, a color that you would never think about, and they wear it proud, and when they go in the room, their head is up high, and they act like they own the room. That's someone who does not care what other people think, because they are loving the skin that they're in. So in self-esteem, we need to work on those things that keep us having that high opinion of ourselves. It's important that you recognize those areas where you feel that you don't feel as confident. That's where you need to start. If it has to do with your appearance, then that's important. A lot of us are in relationships with people who tend to keep us feeling low. And sometimes it's not because maybe you need work in that area, maybe because they're afraid of losing you. Especially in a lot of relationships where men will sometimes attack you and try to tell you that you don't look good or that you shouldn't wear something. And it's not so much based on the fact that you're not looking good, and it's because you do. And sometimes it's because they're fearful of other people seeing what they see. So every time someone says something, doesn't necessarily mean you have to take them at their word that what they said is law. My thing is, the way I look at myself is how do I feel about myself? When I stand in the mirror and look at myself, what am I looking at? What am I valuing about me? Is it just my outer appearance? Is it who I've become in here? The way that I feel about myself. I understand that in order to live, I got to be healthy. So, when I changed my mind about the things that I was doing with my body, I knew it was important that I had to alter my diet in a way so that I could have a healthy body from the inside out. It wasn't so much that I was trying to look a certain way, more so than feel a certain way. It's important that you attack those things from the inside outward. So it's important that that's where you start, and when I realized that, then I knew it was time for me to make some changes. So it really has a lot to do with how you are feeling. There's all type of coaches. There's fitness coaches, lifestyle coaches that will get on, and I think their whole thing is to get you to realize and recognize that you need to do something. But it's definitely not to get you to be like them, because we all have a unique path. We all have something unique about us that we have to give to the world, even in appearance. We all can't look the same, and neither do we desire to do that. We're not all trying to be like one another, more so than it's a motivational factor to get you to recognize that in order to live, you got to be about taking care of this vessel. So what is it with you that needs to pick me up? Maybe it's a confidence to be able to speak up, to speak your mind, and to be able to say the things that you need to say. When people are disrespecting you or not giving you your space, or not, that's always infringing upon your time. Sometimes it's not so much about the way you look versus it's the way you allow people to treat you. So you have to think about what area of your life need this self-esteem boost. It's not always about appearance, because let's face it, when your body goes through changes as a middle-aged woman, there are certain things that you cannot prevent unless you do it medically. But there are certainly ways that you can make yourself feel a little bit better by increasing, vitamins and your foods to give you the energy that you need and the strength that you need within your body. So that's never an excuse not to change those things. But as far as the way that your body will change going through the hormonal stages of menopause, it's nothing you can do about that. It's something that every woman will have to go through in a certain level. It's not on the same level. So no matter how much you exercise, the hormonal shift is going to be something that you can't prevent, but you can learn to live with it and work with it so that you can have a better quality of life. So don't always look at a way a person look and try to be like them. You got to develop and mold and critique your life in a way that will be better for you in that particular area of life. And that starts here. It starts with the idea of, what is it about me that I need a boost in? What about my self-esteem, my opinion of myself, and the way that I value myself that needs to be worked on? I can't do that for you. No one can do that for you. You have to do it for yourself. You have to decide. When I had to recognize that I had a small frame, that my bones were small, and that certain areas of my body was not going to be the way that I wanted it to look, without doing something major like surgery, which I'm not willing to do. I felt like God made me this way. I have small arms, bones for a reason, and it's okay with me. So I don't need to get injections or muscle mass put on my body in order to feel good about me, unless that's what I want to do. And it's certainly not something I desire to do, to go under a knife or any type of surgery in order to feel good. But what I decided to do was learn to love the body that He gave me. And that's what I do. I love the body that He gave me. And I decided that I wanted to design a way to feel good in the skin that I'm in. And in the process of that, what did I need to do to make this body feel good? So that came with me changing things that I ate, and even altering the way that I stressed, and allowing myself to be stress-free and letting go of things that don't serve me, finding my walk, my path, my journey to happiness. That's so important, that your journey is your journey, and that it's not going to look like your mother's, your sister's, your brother's, your best friend, your cousin, your aunts, your colleagues. It's not going to look like anybody else's. It's going to be uniquely yours. We're here to inspire you to know that you can do it, and that you have to start with that thought of, I want to make a difference because I'm tired of where I'm at right now. And we have to stop looking at what society tells us is what a woman should be, how a woman should look. Who told you that? Who told you that you had to look like Barbie with a 15-inch waist? Who told you you had to have a big butt like Nicki Minaj? Who told you you had to be muscular? Who told you that? Or is it that you need to be healthy? See, it's what you think about. What is most important for you? And whatever's most important for you is what you go after. So if having a booty like Nicki Minaj is important to you, then that's what you go after. But just because the world is deciding to have a butt like Nicki Minaj doesn't mean that you have to have a butt like Nicki Minaj. You have to have the butt that you want to have. So once I got to the point where I looked at that and I was like, wow, that's absolutely right. Who said that Beyonce was the most beautiful woman in the world? Who said that Halle Berry was the way that I needed to look? How do Lydia want to look? That doesn't say that some of the things that they have you don't aspire to have. Maybe you want to have a smaller waist. Maybe you want to have more muscle definition. But do you want to look exactly like that person? Who are you? Discover who you are. What do you want to look like? And work on those things. It's important that we learn to value who we are. You are a unique vessel. There is nothing else and no one else out there like you. Make it special. Make it valuable. To me, in my opinion, there's no woman out there better than me. And it's okay for you to have that thought like that. That's not putting down any other woman. But if you don't feel like you're valuable and you don't feel like you're important, no one else may ever feel that way. You have to feel that way about yourself. That's how you boost your self-esteem. It's not about having pride or thinking you're better than others or being bougie or anything, but it's about loving you. And when you learn to love yourself, no one else can take away the value that you have for yourself. See, a lot of times when people criticize you, it's because they see something in you they wish they had, or they see something they wish that they could aspire to do. It's not always about someone thinking that it's ugly or not good. Sometimes it's simply because they wish they could do what you're doing. So think about where you want to go with your life and what it is about you that you want to change. How do you want to feel better about yourself? And especially going through this time of life where we're changing, our bodies are going to be different, and we have to work with the bodies we have and decide what we need to do to keep our bodies healthy at this stage of life and feeling good and looking good. It's not going to be the way that I do it or the way that your best friend does it. It's going to be the way that you do it. So I thought it was important to talk about self-esteem and to stop looking at other women and measuring yourself up against them. Because they may look a certain way that you like doesn't mean that they're better than you. You have to feel good about who you are. And even if you are 200 pounds and if you love being 200 pounds, be a healthy 200 pounds. If you are 100 pounds, be a healthy 100 pounds. See, we're a diverse group of people. We're different shades, different sizes, different heights in all. And it's beauty in all of that. And it's important that we learn to value who we are and work that in every area of your life. Work it in the way that you walk and the way that you talk and the things that you do. Feel good about yourself. Love yourself. Set your own standards. Make your own designs. Wear your own style. You don't have to be like a clone to anyone in this world. Be uniquely you. And that is what I wanted to share today. I want to thank you all for tuning in to Self-Love TV today. We're going to dig in this year. We're going to talk about some hard topics. We're going to talk about some things that's going to make you move around in your seat. Might make you even a little upset. But I think it's important as women that we open up those wounds that we've had, that we've carried with us, that kept us from really loving ourselves and not valuing ourselves the way that we should. You shouldn't have to wait to get to an older age of life to understand that you should have been loving yourself all along. All right? So thank you for tuning in today, and I will see you in the next video. I forgot to say, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you for stopping through. I hope that you will subscribe if you enjoyed this video and others on the channel. I would love to have you. And to all of those returning subscribers, friends, and followers, you know I appreciate you guys. I will see you in the next video. Remember always, peace and love. Bye, guys.